Hello. Yeah, so I do just some imaginary stories, and sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not funny. Yeah, and I play this, a talk from so I have many personalities, and one of them, I introduce you now. His name is Nussbaum. So, welcome. Welcome.
Welcome to Nussbaum.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I'm Nussbaum, and I do have a spaceship, and I love it. It's fantastic. Yeah, and it has a bicycle tire as steering wheel, and on that bicycle tire there's many iron rods, and on those iron rods I can play music. And when I play music on them, then the spaceship is flying, and it flies up to the sky, and it's like, you, very fast, you, and it's cool, and I love it. So I'm a man from the universe, like you guys. I think all of you are people from the universe, and yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, and my name is Nussbaum, and it's jazz, like the music, jazz, and Nussbaum, like a nut tree, like a tree that has nuts on it, and it's pretty good. I like trees, they're fantastic. And I have a jacket from another planet. Look at this jacket, it's fantastic, I love it. And it's from a planet where they have many jackets on trees, and you can just go there and like collect them from the trees. Yeah, and it's beautiful. Yeah, get your jacket from the trees. Yeah. I love it. And I have Reebok shoes, look, and Levi's socks. They're from Levi's. He's a wise man. Yeah. And the Reebok shoes, they're from a Reebok, and the Reebok is a Reebok, right? And he used to wear them, and now he just sold them. And he sold them for money, and the money he took, and he planted trees. And on those trees, they sometimes grow jackets. Fantastic. What a nice Reebok. Yeah. Back in the day, I used to work as a taxi driver, and I was driving around people all the time, and it was nice. And I was driving some young women around one day, and there were like 3 of them, and they were very funny, and they had banana trees with them, and there was so many bananas, and I love bananas. Yeah, pretty good. Thank you very much. Yeah, fantastic. And one of the young women, she wanted to pay me with bananas instead of money, and I said, I don't know, it works that way. So she said, I love bananas, and I said, okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. And then, and then she gave me all those bananas, and I took those bananas, and I had a full, hand, my arms were very, wide, and there were so many bananas. It's like, wow, so many bananas. And I think that's why taxis are yellow. Yeah. As a taxi driver, cars were screaming at me all the time. I was like, why? Why are you screaming? And those cars were like, and I didn't understand, but I just knew they were screaming. What can you do? Yeah. So I decided to do some different work, because I couldn't handle all the cars screaming at me and all the young women throwing bananas at me. Yeah. But I talked to Harambe. Do you know Harambe? Harambe, he's a gorilla, and he was like, you know, Jess Nussbaum, don't be sad. Bananas are good. And I said, okay. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I love to swim. And I was swimming in the ocean in Australia one day. And I was swimming very far out. And the sun was just going down and it was beautiful light, you know. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. So beautiful. And I swam and I swam. And there was like no fish around, you know. So I was like, why? Why is it so empty in the ocean? And then in the distance, I saw a fish. And I thought, oh, that's a very big fish, you know. And I was like, oh, no, I don't think that's a fish. So it was a shark. So I was in the middle of the ocean, so I swim very far out, right? And I met this shark. And I don't know, I was like, holy moly. And yeah, hectic.
Yeah, that does sound hectic.
Yeah. And then the shark came close to me and he said, hello, Jess. And I said, I'm Jess Nussbaum. And he said, I'm hungry. And I said, cool, Mr. Shark. I'm glad you're hungry. And he said, yeah, I'm very hungry. I want to eat something. And I said, okay, Mr. Shark, that's cool. I'm gonna swim back to the shore. And the shark was like, okay, I follow you. And then he followed me, and I swam away. Yeah, very hectic. Yeah. I was swimming above the water surface, kind of flying, you know. And then the shark was gone. Yeah, I think he was hungry. And I'm glad he didn't eat me. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shark. Yeah. Sometimes I swim in the lake in Berlin, and I swim all the way out, and there's like a red bowl in the middle of the lake, and I swim all the way there, and I love it. It's fantastic. And I went to the bowl, and I was close to the red bowl because I love colors. And then I said, red bowl, are you red because you're ashamed? Yeah. Yeah. But the bowl said, no, I'm red because I love it. I said, okay, that sounds very good. And then I hugged the bowl and I said, goodbye, see you later, bowl. And the bowl said, see you. And I said, Jess Nussbaum. And the bowl said, I'm not ashamed. Yeah, pretty good. I used to work as a bread seller, and I sold bread to those people in Sydney, Australia. And they came up to me and they said, oh, the bread is so delicious. Where did it come from? And I said, it's growing on trees in the forest. And they said, okay, that's pretty cool. And I said, you can come with me and we collect the bread from the trees one day. And they said, okay, pretty good. And at the same time, I was working as a childcare worker, and I was holding those very tiny, small little children in my arms sometimes, you know, and like the babies. And then I had to sing to them because they were screaming. And one day I was at work selling bread, you know, and I was holding a bread in my arm and singing to the bread.
Good man.
Yeah. The bread was very happy. Yeah. My colleague said, what are you doing? And I said, I sing lullabies to the bread. And then I realized that life is pretty cool. Fantastic. Yeah. In Germany, people want everything from you. The bureaucracy, it wants everything from you. But I just have some things. And then the Germans, they're at the office, they're like, why? And I'm like, what can I do? I'm Jess Nussbaum. And then I go up and I learned if you're sad, you can go and cuddle a German. Yeah, pretty good. So I was cuddling the German lady at the office, and I was cutting her, like, I pressed her a little bit, and then she was like, "Rah!" And out there came all vomit, you know, she vomited all bureaucracy. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, why not? Yeah. I love it. I was running to the tram recently, pretty fast, and I wanted to get inside the tram to go from A to B, and then there was a lady, and she went in front of me, and I thought, okay, why not? So I was kind of a gentleman, I guess, and I said, you can go in first. And she was like, thank you. And then she walked into the tram, and she stood at the entrance, and the doors closed. And I was standing outside. Ooh, why? Yeah, well, then I vomited a little, and out there came bureaucracy. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I looked on top of the tram, and there was a dragon. And he said, hello, who are you? And I said, I'm Jess Nussbaum. And he said, I'm a dragon. And I said, cool. And then he got very angry, and I gave him a hug. And then he took me on his back, and he was flying to the moon. And we had a bite from the moon. Yeah. Moon is delicious. Yeah. I like ice cream. It's delicious. Sometimes it's very, you know, if it's too much. Yeah. And you're like, oh. And ice cream has its name from screaming. So the ice cream is like, ah. Okay. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. That's pretty good. And I have some more little things. I can go on for another 200,000 times. But I just know that sometimes in Berlin, people come very close to you in bicycles, you know? And you walk on the pavement, you're like, wah, 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 wah. And I always walk very slow because I'm just Nussbaum. I got time. And then the bicycles, they're like very close, and I'm like, oh. And then they're like, I'm sorry. And I say, I'm just Nussbaum. Bye. Yeah, that's all it is. And sometimes I give space to people on the pavement, and then they say thank you, and I say hello. Hello to you. Fantastic. I used to have a camper van in Australia, and I wanted to learn how to fly, so I asked a Pegasus. The Pegasus was like, you know, I have this story, I was in a helicopter once. And I was like, oh cool, pretty good, Pegasus. And then he said, I jumped off because I was a horse and I couldn't handle it. And then he jumped off the helicopter, and then he understood he can't fly, you know, pretty hard. So he was falling through the sky. Hectic. And then at some point he grew wings and he was flying. He was like, "Wah!" And then the sky opened and there was rainbows and there was Harambe and Jesus, and they were holding hands and they said, cool. Yeah, and I said, cool, Mr. Pegasus. So now I know how to fly. So I took my camper van and I was flapping the doors on the sides very much. So I had this little machinery that I bought out of iron rods from my little backyard. And then I was flapping the doors, and then the van is just flying off, you know. But when I didn't flap the doors, the van was falling. So I had to find another solution. So what I did is I took my phone and I put it on flight mode. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I saw this ladybug beetle in the tram, and he was just climbing up on the window, and I was like, oh cool, ladybug, you're doing very well. And the ladybug looked at me and he was like, and I thought, cool, thanks for the little, you know, eye twinkle thing. And then the ladybug said, I go from A to B, and then I fly away. And I thought, oh, if just the Germans could do that, but they can't sometimes. So they have to vomit bureaucracy. Hectic. Yeah. Well, I'm always on a quest to find my mind. Sometimes it's there, you know. Sometimes I'm on the rails and sometimes I'm off the rails. But that's how it is, I guess. And you gotta go with the flow, fellas. Woo! Well, I'm Jazz Nussbaum. Jazz Nussbaum. And you guys are fantastic. You are 1, 2, 3 audience members and fantastic friends and people. And there's some Ian Mbele is there, he's fantastic.
Oh, Ian, yes.
And the dudes who work here, and I love it. It's fantastic. Go lit a candle. Let's get lit. Woo! Thank you very much.